Well, hello everybody. I'm here today because I'm going to do a few videos on my birthday trip to Walt Disney World. I know it's been several months, but I just want to let you guys all know what we did, how we did it, and all that stuff. So that's why I'm wearing. These are actually Disneyland's 50th anniversary ears that I got back in 2005 when Disneyland turned 50. But I actually wore these on my birthday in Walt Disney World because it does say 50. And I turned 50. Can you believe that? Yeah, I believe it. So anyway, basically about this trip, how it all came about is back in early 1996, early in the year, I believe it was, Chuck won a trip from work for $3,000. $3,000 anywhere he wanted to go. Doesn't seem like a lot of money now, but back then it was a good, decent trip fund. So my mom really wanted us to go on a cruise, which in a way, sometimes I wish I would have started cruising back that long ago, but I was pregnant with Brady. So a cruise was not an option really. I would have either had to have gone on the cruise pregnant, which you can only go till you're 6 months pregnant, or I would have had to leave him after I had him. We couldn't have taken any of the kids because for money reasons. So we hem-hawed about and we decided we were going to go to Walt Disney World and do a family trip. So we happened to go to Walt Disney World in November of 1996, and they were celebrating their 25th anniversary, and the castle, Cinderella's castle, was dressed up like this big ginormous pink birthday cake. I will put some clips of that in the video of what it looked like back in 1996 when it was this big wonderful pink birthday cake. People hate it, but I loved it because we were there for my 25th birthday. So it was just, it was cool. There was this big castle dressed up like a 25 birthday cake, and I was turning 25 on that trip. So I had said for my 50th birthday, I wanted to go back. I mean, come on. Disney World opened, Magic Kingdom opened in 1971, October of 1971. I was born in November of 1971. So it basically just made sense. So, I said it, and then as my kids got older and I saw that they were getting more into Disney, we kept going to Disneyland. We really didn't go to Disney World, not until 2018. But we kept going and going and going to Disneyland, and they were getting more and more into it, and they were loving it. And then Matthew and Carissa got together. Matthew got Carissa into it, so Carissa started loving it, and then Uriel went, and Uriel started loving it. So I basically was just like, this is going to be a family trip. This is what I want to do. I want to go to Walt Disney World for my 50th birthday with my kids and hopefully my grandkids. This was before I had grandkids. I was telling my kids this long before I even had grandkids, and Aubrey's 6. So that was always in the plans. So anyway, planning started, and it was a little bit of back and forth. They wanted to stay on property. Then they Some of them wanted to save money, like Uriel wanted to save money. I wanted to save money. Brady was going along with whatever. Carissa really wanted to stay on property. So I basically gave everybody the option. I said, you don't have to stay with me. My feelings are not going to get hurt if you choose not to stay with me. But what ended up happening is I rented a vacation home in Kissimmee. And it was a 6-bedroom, 5.5 bath house that slept, it said 13, but it was, I think it ended up being, it slept 16 if you counted the couches. And we used every inch of that house. We rented it for 11 nights. We were there for, the majority of us were there for 12 days. And it was about just over $2,500. So each adult paid $250 to stay there for anywhere from a week to the full 11 days. So let me just tell you, my whole goal with this trip was to have me, Chuck, Nikki, Matthew, Brady, and of course, their significant others, Carissa, Uriel, Brady brought Missy, and then Aubrey and Alexander. Those were the primary people I wanted there. Now, not to say I didn't want anybody who wanted to come. My mom obviously came. My sister probably wouldn't have missed it for anything. And then our friend Cheryl was with us. And to my surprise, my friend Justine flew from Las Vegas to be there. And the biggest surprise was my Aunt Jeannie and my cousin Kathy and her boyfriend Randy drove down from Kentucky. And they were with us. And then, of course, Brady's friend Milton, my other son, lives in Florida right now. He's going to school, so he spent several days with us, and that was great. So we had a pretty good sized gang. So this little birthday ended up being more than I could have even imagined. So anyway, I didn't mean to cry. Still thinking about it. It's been like 5-6 months, and I can't even believe that many people wanted to be with me for my birthday. So anyway, we also rented a 12-passenger van that was basically for me and Chuck, Matthew, Carissa, Aubrey, Nikki, Uriel, and Alexander. Brady and Missy were only there for a week. They got their own car because they had to keep going back and forth to get Milton also. And then Terry and my mom, I almost said Nana, and Cheryl rented a car, and Justine pitched in for that car for the few days that she was there. Terry, Nana only stayed for the week. Brady, Missy, Terry, Brady, Missy, Nana all went back home together. Justine only stayed like 3 days. And then my Aunt Jeannie and my cousin Kathy and Randy, they came down on like Wednesday, and then they went home on Sunday. So they didn't stay in the house with us. They had their own place, and they went to Disney World only on Friday, the 12th of November, which was my birthday. They were there with us on that day, and then the other days we kind of just, on Thursday, my mom went with them for a trip to the beach, and we went to the water park, and Justine and Terry and them went Justine and I went to Epcot, and then Terry and Cheryl went shopping. So we kind of all just did a few different things from each other on a few of those days. And we met up with Jeannie and them one last time before they left to have dinner with them. We also met up with them down at Disney Springs one day because our days were fully booked. We went hard. We did 10 days in the parks. 4 parks, 10 days. And we went hard. We went every day. Every day we went to the parks. Except for that Thursday we went to the water parks. And I don't believe we ended up going to a park that night. I think instead we just went to Disney Springs. But originally we had planned on going over to Epcot or something after. And we just decided we weren't going to do that. So we did this pretty hard. It was a pretty hard trip. We went from sunup to late nights. What was I going to say next? I don't know. I'm at a loss now. But anyway, so we fly into Florida. We get there, everybody but Matthew, Chris, and Aubrey. They flew on a separate flight from me, Terry, Nana, Cheryl, Nikki, Uriel, Alexander, Brady, and Missy. We all flew together. We all got there pretty much at the same time. We got there a little bit early. So I think we went to Disney Springs we went somewhere before we were able to check into the house. We checked into the house. Really late that night is when I had to go back and pick up Matthew, Carissa, and Aubrey from the airport. Did we do a red eye? I think we did a red eye. And so we got there early in the morning, whereas Matthew and Carissa left on Saturday morning and got there Saturday night. So all of our fun didn't start until Sunday. Now I'm at a loss, and I might have to come back and go into what we did for each day. But again, I wanted to say we paid $2,500 for the house. It was just a little over $2,500. So it was $250 per person for the adults. The kids, we didn't add them into the equation. Justine came for a couple days, and she chipped in towards some food and some cleaning supplies and things like that, because we had already paid, and it was just easier for her to chip in towards something else. Our car, what we got was $1,100, and let me tell you, I booked that way in advance, and thank goodness, because with the pandemic, I guess all the rental car companies had to sell off a lot of their cars, because by the time a couple months went by, that same vehicle jumped from $1,100 to $2,500. And I kid you not, right before we went, because I check my prices, I check everything to see if it's gone down, because I'll rebook. It had climbed up to over $3,500 for that time period for that 12-passenger van. So, phew, I saved the 12-passenger van, or I pre-booked a 12-passenger van, and I also pre-booked just a regular minivan up until we were set in stone who was going in that 12-passenger van. Or, I didn't know if Nikki and Uriel said they were going with me regardless, but Matthew and Carissa was a little bit iffy, so if they wanted to get their own, we didn't need a 12-passenger if that was the case. But we ended up all just splitting the 12-passenger. It just made it easy, and we did everything together anyway. So, we paid about $1,100 for that. I think it actually ended up being $1,400 after they also include the toll roads. And then I had to pay for an extra day at the end because of timing for our flight and everything. We would have been sitting in the airport for way too long. So we extended it by a couple hours, and it was like a full day. So it ended up being over $1,400 for the van. And then we did 10-day, the majority of us did 10-day park hoppers. Now with Disney World, actually I think it's the same with Disneyland, Disney World. Basically, when you add that park hopping feature to your ticket, whether you add it to 1 day or you add it to 10 days, it doesn't matter. It's the same price. So if it's $60 more to add a park hopper, it's going to be $60 more for 1 or 2 days. It's going to be $60 more for 10 days. So we basically did a 10-day park hopper plus, is what the majority of us did. And what the plus got us, actually, we didn't even take advantage of the whole plus thing because we were supposed to go mini golfing and we never did that. It got us into the water park, and yeah, basically. We did have to pay for parking. When we went in 2018, me, Terry, Carissa, Matthew, and Brady, we all upgraded our Disneyland APs, and Cheryl, she did it too. We upgraded our Disneyland APs to the Premier Pass, which was the annual pass for both coasts. So that was awesome because we got our discounts over there. We got free parking over there, and if we wanted to upgrade to Premier parking, we just paid the difference. We did a lot of Premier parking while we were there in November. It just was easier, closer to, there was no trams at the time, so we had to walk, and we had the kids, especially Alexander being a baby, having 2 strollers. It just saved on our feet to have the Premier parking. So between all of us chipping in for parking, it wasn't a lot to pay for Premier parking. So we did that the majority of the time. Also, we upgraded to Premier parking. Also ahead of time, we all chipped in and we got the photo package, the memory maker, which is, if you buy it ahead of time, it was like $169 or something like that. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it was a lot cheaper than if I would have bought it there. And that way, all the pictures we took, we got. So that was nice. I just had to link everybody together. So once I linked everybody to my pass, or to my memory maker, we all were able to use our magic bands or whatever to get the pictures. What else? I can't think of what else I wanted to say right now, but I was going to go through, and this is basically just a little bit about how it all became about and what we did and where we rented a house, and all of that stuff right now. And then I'll go and I'll let you guys know where we went, which days we went to what park. We did do the Very Merry Christmas party, which we have mixed feelings about that. I'm glad I did it. Just like in 2018, we did the Halloween party. I'm glad I did that. Now I can say I did it. So it was one of those things I'm glad I did, but we didn't utilize our time very well. So it was a very late night. It didn't end until 1 o'clock, but we did it, and it was something we could say we did. But yeah, I will get back on and go over some of the other things about Disney World and what we did during the course of the week. Now, on our second to the last day, we decided to do a 4-park challenge, so that was fun. We basically went to all 4 parks in one day. We rode all modes of transportation in that day, and we had to eat something in each park. Now, we didn't all eat something in the park because there's just no way that was going to happen. But we had to get some kind of snack in each park. And the majority of the time, Chris is the one who got the snack. I think Nikki got a few of them. And I got Starbucks probably in every park. I don't remember for sure, but I'm going to guess I did. And if somebody else got something, I may have still tried it. So there was just no way all of us that were in that 4-park challenge we're going to be able to eat a snack in each of those parks. But that included everybody that was still there at the end, which was me, Chuck, Nikki, Uriel, Alexander, Matthew, Carissa, Aubrey, and Cheryl. We're the ones who did the 4-park challenge. So it was fun, but I don't know if I would do that again with little kids. I think it would have to just be adults. But anyway, I'm going to go for now because I'm about to start work, and I will get back on here and we will do some more fun stuff about my 50th birthday trip to Disneyland at a later date. So I'll see you again soon.